In our streaming obsessed world, do you miss DVD commentary tracks? Well, fear not, because I've on Fry, the most scorned critic on all of YouTube. I'm here to give you commentary tracks for the movies we love, and sometimes those we love to hate. Tonight, got one I think you guys are going to appreciate. It's Conan the Barbarian, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. But before we get into it, I want to give a quick mention to my buddies over at CalderaLab.com, makers of the finest skincare for men, including the Good Serum. It'll have you laughing at the four winds. Use my promo code FRY15 to save 15% at checkout. All right, well, we have got our popcorn ready, Reese's Pieces, Himalayan sea salt, butter, and I'm going to open up an IBC root beer. I think we all know how disastrous this typically goes, but I kind of like that. The kids call it satisfying, right? When you pop the top on this. All right, I like that part, and then I'll twist the rest of it, okay? I'm learning. Are we learning yet? Trying to work in some more Arnold lines. And if you would like to watch Conan the Barbarian along with me, go ahead, queue up to 0000 over on Netflix. It's a black screen. Hit play now. This is a movie that I don't think I've warmed up to as much as others. Look, I know I brought this up in my very first commentary track, which I don't even think is available anywhere. It was on Blip TV. That which does not kill you makes you stronger. Friedrich Nietzsche. Weird quote to put in a movie that doesn't take place, like, even really on Earth or far beyond history in the past, and like kind of weird. But I actually preferred Beastmaster. And I know it's blasphemous, but come on. We get Mako, the wizard. I don't think he has a name mentioned in the movie. I think that a big selling point to how people fondly recall this movie is essentially the music. Music, it really gets you kicking. And being more of a box office success, it in large part brought together this sword and sandal sorcery kick in the 80s. I think I watched this in HD before. Maybe a few years ago on Netflix. It's a movie that comes and goes on Netflix. Obviously here now because of FUBAR. Arnold being the action, pathologist or something over at Netflix, meaning he has to have some more movies represented on the platform. You know, all this time I've been joking that Netflix doesn't have any flicks. This summer, Netflix has been doing pretty strong. We have the construction of Conan's sword. And because of this movie, Conan O'Brien says everyone was calling him Conan. Particularly Regis Philbin would insist on calling him Conan. And now people were getting mixed up with, I think there's some anime about a detective Conan. I'm not too aware of it. I've seen this movie many times, but I really couldn't tell you too much what the story is. It's a revenge story, but also serendipitous in that he's kind of getting paid to rescue a princess, though you could be blamed for completely forgetting that part, because ultimately that just simply coincides with the revenge against Thulsa Doom. John Milius, might be pronouncing that wrong, but I don't think Conan's mom talks. Could be wrong. It's not like he's a king himself and was taken in by the barbarians. He's kind of just a Norse tribe outfit here. We get pretty good lectures in this movie, and so you do end up with some good quotable material here. Why am I putting that on level 9 on my speakers? It used to be, I do a commentary track, I wouldn't go over 4. Ah, yes, composite shot in 1982. I've seen worse. I don't know who plays young Conan, but he doesn't look too different from Bastion from the Neverending Story. Could you see this kid looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger? And here we go with this riddle of steel. I still couldn't tell you. Dad over here telling him trust nobody, but this you can trust. I've seen quotes from this movie pop up in weird places. I don't remember if you guys recall when I had a podcast, Hottie and the Jerk. I was talking about a Christmas movie that was actually an asylum production, weirdly enough, called like Love at the Christmas Table, where it was supposed to be kind of based on when you have a big family dinner, like there's a kid's table essentially, and there was like a snowball fight, and the people are quoting Conan the Barbarian. I'm sure it's been brought up in many places. You know, the whole what's best in life bit, right? We have some more quality music, and much of this scene right here it's not MOS, but it is very much without dialogue, gestures. Franco Columbo as, I don't know, a scout. Remember, he was also a Terminator. I mean, I don't know how you have a scout run ahead of the horses, but okay. Oh no. I guess we're under attack. Of course, a better looking movie than most 1982 films. Arnold's first effort at a respectable budget lead. And so for, in some ways he'll be nicknamed Conan. They make a franchise out of it. They give him 2 movies. I mean, at this time, you're probably more inclined to hear him be called the Austrian Oak. Mind you, this is rated R. I'm seeing fairly bloodless killings in the village. Oh, but Beastmaster, that's PG. I mean, I would dare say Beastmaster, even from a scary factor, is scarier. He's got the sword. inadvertently catching all the huts on fire, but then, I mean, may as well, for good measure, catch the rest. Yep. Of course, Dad over here pops. He's getting some use out of the sword. He slashed a guy in the back. But the dog's doing men. Now, I've had a very difficult time trying to keep track of how the sword works in this movie, as weird as that sounds, because it's like Conan will later find like a fossilized sword almost. And then it's like, wait, was there some significance behind that? Was that his dad's sword or not? All right, so Sven Thorson. I believe he's the shorter of these two guys. I don't even know who the taller guy is, but Sven Thorson is said to be like 6'7". You may best know him as the mall cop in Mallrats. Is this guy taking off the helmet first? I don't know who that is. But he was also in Gladiator. He had the fancy mask costume, right? He had the slide down faceplate. Got stabbed in the toes, spared by Maximus the Merciful. This looks like we're doing some kind of weird show of respect thing over here with these gestures. I believe that's Dad's sword. We know he's the leader, and this is significant because of what? I mean, okay, obviously we know Thulsa Doom's the leader, the way the sword's being presented to him, but what about this sword was special compared to whatever else was around? Lots of questions can be raised. One doesn't really know how Doom here came to power, other than, I guess, puts people in a trance and transforms into a snake. And even as a snake, it's not too terribly effective. I could see a new remake. I mean, I know they did the Jason Momoa thing, but the snake transformation stuff would be much more fluid, dynamic. You know, pose an actual threat, a big snake fight that would seem a little more involved. All I did was look at her, turns around a little. Is this supposed to be like, oh, you want to use that sword? Okay, go ahead and strike. Go ahead. Too late, and off goes her. You see this shot redone elsewhere in other places. It's a pretty good shot. And even the way this is the reverse angle here framed, looking at the kids, looking at his hand. Where's Mom? I'm all alone now. Guess I'm gonna have to come with you guys. You can see a different version of this movie in which the kid is like annoying the whole trip. Instead, we kind of cut forward and, you know, he doesn't have like some bond with kids that are also at the wheel or nothing like that, right? Can some asshole YouTuber probably construct the wheel and see if that would actually suffice as a quality workout? See, the questions, it's like, why'd they do this? No, I mean they took the kids, and I mean they really wanted some kids to power this wheel so they could, I don't know, grind flour. Yeah, I didn't have the best childhood, said Conan. Conan might be a little bigger than some of these other kids, and that's how he was able to stick around. But this movie, I think, does signify the turning point, which, by and large, 80s through most of first half of the 90s, really, it's just hits for Arnold. It's a decade of dominance. Push. There we go. We don't get some weird bonding thing. Hey, so what about you? You know, someday I'm gonna escape. You'll see. And then that kid gets killed. No, we just montage. We Rocky montage through this, don't we? Yeah. Can we get like one of the Paul kids to construct this wheel and give it a push to train for their next fight? Mush. Oh man, you see the kid, the barefoot kid over there, he's got to drop. Okay, so occasionally they let him put on pants and then sometimes they don't. It looked like there were pants on that shot. But Arnold has made his entrance into the film. An Academy Award winner told me in one of my classes that you should have the hero has to have an entrance. And you know, be it that in this case the hero is Arnold and more so than Conan, you need to see like the transformation here, and boom, now he's Arnold. Head up. Aha. Hero's entrance. There we go. Always thought this guy here looked kind of Muppet-esque. Like he looks like, wasn't there a dwarf that was all done up in Masters of the Universe? Kind of looks like this guy's head. Okay, you got one good one left, right? So you're saying he's ready to fight. Okay, finally. I don't know if you guys ever played Conan Exiles, but some people really kind of get into that game. I see a lot of people playing it on my friends list on Xbox. And it's very much a sandbox. I don't know, create a bunch of stuff scenario where people talk about they get rated. And you have a multiplayer component. I think Ark is a game that plays similar. So we just sat across from each other this whole time. Now what? Ah, yes, the famous Arnold groans. We'll get a fair amount of that in this movie. I tell you, man, It's a combination of things with Arnold. Okay, so the English isn't good, but he had cool groans, right? He had unique groans, and that works in his favor. Of course, his English much better here than in Hercules Goes to New York, which I swear there was a cut of that movie, dubbed. And then now whenever you find it, you can't get the dubbed over, but it is hilarious. Unintentionally. There was no need to have to dub over Arnold in this film. And though I've got subtitles on, there's a lot more modern acting. People almost are whispering to each other, a lot of mumbling. You can't make out what they're saying, no enunciation. I never really was like, what did Arnold say? I didn't get that. It never was a problem. We have to have a different get up for each fight. And I could be mistaken, but it's around the time that he's trained on this movie. Had to debulk a bit so he could get some of the sword fighting accomplished, because flexibility issues when you have so much muscle on. But also became Mr. Universe or Mr. Olympia. It was controversial win, as he wasn't really a full-time bodybuilder, but you're kind of chosen by the tastemaker. All right, so he's got a lot of wins here, and he's not even scarred up in the face. I like this line. In time, his victories could not easily be counted. And they just decided, we got to get this guy even better at fighting. Travel east, learn some more intricate stuff. We want to use you in the prequel trilogy. Dude was laughing. He got a spinning kick to the balls. All right. We're going to get our first set of boobies here. So he can read. This is a time, no, granted fantasy, but I'm thinking reading was not fundamental. She's the finest stock. I'll pass. But he has some. He is like a zoo animal here, but he has also been taught things. I'm a man of culture. Here, let's. They take your clothes off here. I'll give you some clothes, but we're not gonna mince words. Still haven't heard anything from Arnold. Just groan. I think his accent actually works pretty good for Conan. He doesn't sound American. I had intended to do reviews of the Hercules movies starring Lou Ferrigno, who is not an awful Hercules. And I was going to kind of compare them to Conan the Barbarian, because they are that sort of ride the wave style of filmmaking you used to be able to have. Now the budgets are so high and calculated, you can't really have that wave go anymore, where people are like, we got to cash in on Star Wars. We need stuff in space. We got to cash in on Conan. We got to have guys with swords and loincloths. Now it's not like that. They have their IPs and they've settled on it. First lines in the movie. Memorable first lines there for Conan. And everybody agrees with him. He's a philosopher gladiator. Why let him go? Isn't he your greatest weapon? And he's not kind about it either. Kicks him away. Like, I haven't been discussing this whole freedom thing. I have no idea where to go. What should I do? A wild animal who's been kept too long, don't they just die? I mean, age still occurs to animals. Wouldn't that be the case? So I don't get it, but I mean, it could have been like, hey, since you're leaving, we'll give you a sword, right? I mean, you could have unshackled him. Like, I don't fully understand this. Instead, he's still running around with the chains. Yeah. Good stuff. All right, so we have fallen into a tomb. And evidently somebody importance in this rock because it's got like a throne, doesn't he? You'd think he'd be able to climb out of this situation, but maybe he wants the shelter. Oh, now I noticed the skeleton on the throne. Yeah, oh, now you mention it. Couldn't see it during the daytime when light was coming in, but now I got this fire going in here, and there's fumes. Who knows what else could happen to me? I wonder if swords work like this, where if you see a rusted over sword, you can just kind of clink it around a little, and then it like knocks the cobwebs or whatever else off. This thing doesn't look like it's ready to go. Yeah, times have not changed much since this guy was alive. You can't just pick up somebody's, an old relic's gun and expect to take over the world with that, right? Well, but a sword's a sword, I suppose. Now, you gotta be careful of sorcery. Maybe put a spell on you for stealing a sword. He like knocks the rust off. Look how shiny and new it is underneath. Now you have this Crom God thing. I don't know. I was so confused by this. Like, oh, was that supposed to be... You found God's mausoleum? Like, what is this? His tomb? Kaboom. And I'm assuming we're eating some dog now. And we're... An odd fourth wall break right there as we stare at the camera. And yeah, now look how well covered up he is. I think those are dog pelts. Now I'm unshackled, and I'm going to stare you guys down. We're assuming that I just had some doggies. We don't want to show that so much. They'll get the audience turned against your hero. Tell you what, this witch gal, this might be the hottest babe in the movie. Maybe. Sort of a, hey stranger, I've got a hut. Oh, I don't think she's talking about just warm fires. Man, he made use of all the dog pelts, didn't he? I'm even going to wrap my sword in fur. I don't want the blade getting cold. Look at all this patched together sewing in her dress. It's kind of Catwoman-like, you know? Burton Catwoman. Are you trying to seduce me, Mrs. Witch? Are you taking some guesses here? He's a man of great strength. You probably noticed the muscles. What? You said I'd be king? Now I'm interested. He's still, you know, he's not taking kindly to his mom getting beheaded. Gotta go after this guy who has the snake symbols. Do we need a whisper lady? And the price for this information is getting it on. All right, so we have to go to Zamora. Is that what you're trying to tell me? You didn't want to wait till after the hookup to, you know, maybe write some of this down? You know, nothing really comes out of this, but can you imagine a sequel? The impregnated witch spirit lady who now has the child of Conan the Barbarian. I don't think she needed, you know, to completely flip out here, but maybe this is how she gets her food, right? I mean, this is her way. Lays a trap for a lot of guys. And into the flame you go. She's not done yet. Pretty cool special effects here. More crumbs. So it's not like it's kind of like a holy crap, like an exclamation thing. Well, I think he rested up okay. All right, so this is going to be Conan's buddy for the movie. I really feel like I should know more about where this actor's been. I know that the guy who starts the Conan the Destroyer as his buddy was Bob the Goon in Batman 1989. Funny delivery there. Who are you? Well, how did you not notice this guy chained up outside when you walked up? No, what's so great about these 4 wins, huh? Crumb's going to ask you the riddle of steel. So I think this Crumb thing, a sort of pagan god, but he's mentioning Valhalla here. You know, you guys probably could have done to get some horses. Instead, you really want to frolic through the fields. Good looking ancient city right there. How do you come across those? I mean, it didn't look like a miniature or nothing. Go inside. I mean, I think you had to construct a lot of this. I'm really not sure. Nowadays, CGI. You guys are traveling. You don't have to run. I mean, usually be able to go a long distance. They walk if they have to go by foot, right? You don't want to wear yourself out. Hey, anybody know anything about the snake? Clearly. The Snake Tower is kind of impressive looking. All right, we're about to get to the infamous camel punch. Really not sure how they did this. I mean, it looked like the camel got hit by... It looked like a real camel getting hit by Arnold's fist. And then I think they, you know, could have fudged it afterwards in the other shot where it goes down. The Eye of the Serpent. So we kind of get our first mission. So we may as well go up there and see what they got. Heard it's got good riches. I like how his friends don't betray him. He doesn't pick up some friend who's like, well, sorry, I'm going to stab you in the back now, right? There is honor among thieves in this movie. Oh, gotta try to remember this actress's name. She was the final winner of the Golden Globe for like best newcomer for this movie. And did she die recently? It's kind of been a while since we had, you know, award shows phase out an award. Sandal Bergman. Did she die? No, it says is an American actress. She's 6 feet tall. I thought she was 5'10", but man, if she's 6 feet, then that makes Red Sonja quite the tall gal movie. Because wasn't she the villain in that? And Arnold's in there for reasons. One of the few Arnold movies I haven't really seen all the way through. We get some halfway decent music in this scene as well. Yeah, if you want to cosplay with white hoods on, that's ill-advised, even if you're going for this look here. All right, what did they say this guy's name is? Because he's the tall guy. But I missed it there in the subtitles. He's second only to Thulsa Doom. Is... Oh, hey, young Conan here. Yore Sans. Kind of does look like Arnold in the face. Well, there's a snake eating itself. Is that going to suffice for our snake standard? I like how we kind of went without her seeing her knock the gal out and put on the dress. We get the impression that that has been done because we just see her there posed with the rest of the priestesses. I don't think she's entirely in the trance, but she wants to be. We got a giant snake overlooking this jewel. Oh, she's not shaven underneath there. You can see that much. High definition, guys. Brings out more detail than you need. Aha! That's the snake symbol. I gotta take this too. Nope, you had a clean getaway and you had to mess it up. And Sabatai, he said he's an archer. He puts in pretty good arrows into this thing. Clearly, this gal is to be sacrificed to the snake. Would the arrows essentially nail it to stone blocks? Probably not. Oh, yeah, a big meaty hack right there. And she's still got quite the fall she's got to go through here. Did she survive? All right, I looked this guy up. Ben Davidson, 6'8", 275, American football player, Oakland Raiders. Died in 2012. (6'8", 275, playing in the 60s. Good sized football player. Said they're 3-time All-Star. I guess they weren't calling it All-Pro or Pro Bowler at the time. Do you want to live forever? That'll come up later. I mean, why ask the question? It's like, sure. No, you're supposed to take risks is why I'm screaming it. All right, we have some riches. We got the jewel. Oh, we're not going to surrender this one just yet, are we? We gotta try to use it to woo the girl. All right. Well, we had a family emergency, so got to postpone here. All right. So here's the story, guys. My brother got some chemicals in his eyes at work, and I guess I'm going to have to go hop in a car, pick him up or something like that. Well, I'm waiting to hear some more about when that'll happen. I've tried to pause my my movie and I will retroactively get this in sync in some way. But yeah, here we have Arnold and Sandal getting it on. But if she's American, that's not a very Americanized name, now, is it? So I will probably get some kind of phone call here. And that will be that. But I mean, try to knock out as much more of this as I can until it gets interrupted, and then through the magic of editing, try to get this back in sync for you guys. The Conan theme here played the love theme version of it. You hear the riffs, right? But even that, like the hug embrace at the end, it's kind of like, hey, this actually means something. I mean, if you had a big score, big payday, you still want to hang out with all these scoundrels? May have to be resuming this really late tonight, if anything. All right, so we got a king that has come across them, with his men. Oh, we're just kind of tired, and I'm supposed to reach for my sword. Is he drunk or tired? What are we doing here? She's not really in the mood. Max von Sydow, I never know if I'm saying his name right. I think this is like his only scene in the film. Also, another tall actor. He's like 6'4". But you don't really get the impression that this mission meant much to the movie. Like, Conan wants to go after this guy anyway. Did we need a king to also be like, oh, by the way, need you go after Rexor? He was the tallest dude. The second in command. but his daughter has been kidnapped and then Stockholm syndromed or something, or, becomes a very willing participant priestess for them. Well, how did everybody else let these snake towers just come about? Only these thieves stood up to him, huh? Yeah, I mean, his daughter under the spell. She's going to take me out. There's got to be some kind of art to turning kids against their parents, right? It certainly can be done. Mountain of Power, that's in caps. Look, he'll pay you up front. Steal her back. I'll take what you can here. And they gave him, kind as essentially an extended monologue. He's not really conversing with anybody, just kind of giving the orders. No, we gotta go get this Thulsa Doom. Now I've got me a bride with blonde hair. She has thieving skills. But now I still owe it to my mom who got beheaded in front of me. Or I'm sorry, to my left. Aside from, I guess he threw the witch in the fire, but kind of got away. There was a snake. Arnold as Conan really has only done, most of his action through gladiator montage to this point. I've got this girl, but I'm still transfixed on those snakes. So I'll leave her. Got to go do this alone. I don't want you guys getting hurt. And she doesn't think he ran off, right? Like in the sense that, oh, I was being too clingy. I pushed him away. No, she knows he wants to go get some revenge. And now they can afford a horse. Or did the king lend him a horse? I'd rather have the horse walk through the snow than I. It's got to be really helpful actually having the symbol in jade on hand than, making the fist and telling everybody. Fantasy hippies. We don't really get these vista horse traveling shots in films nowadays. It's, we got to connect the action together more. And we have to have something big up front. Like, this wasn't a cheap movie, but conceptually, it would just be so antiquated compared to what they have to do today to get people's attention, right? We'll use this pseudo Stonehenge later in the film. And now I like the way how Mako gets brought into this. We have this narrator telling the story of somebody else. It's rather Great Gatsby-esque. I think he's just the wizard here, but only character who returns besides Conan for Conan the Destroyer. I do like Mako as this strange, rascally, voodoo-like wizard. Eastern and voodoo wizard. It's fairly unique. I watched him in a movie recently. Pacific Heights, was it? I think it's called Pacific Heights with Michael Keaton. Everything has to go back to Batman with Michael Keaton, right? But Mako was this tenant in basically in a house that it wasn't really an apartment, but a guy that rented the room was Michael Keaton, and he kind of had like a con angle going, where I guess the idea was going to be to infuriate people into being able to create lawsuits and steal identities and whatever else. And he was also tearing everything out of the house. And Mako, being one of the residents, kind of had enough and just moved out. The flowers are for a girl, huh? I don't think he ends up giving the girl any girl these flowers. But he has to kind of go undercover here. Fit in with this flower-powered child's angle. Did he need to swap the horse for a camel? All right, we got some commotion. Actual authorized priests have entered the vicinity. Could be my chance to get closer to Doom, right? Yeah, passing out the robes. Okay, you get a robe. You get a robe. You get a robe. This is a little homoerotic. So big and well grown, be proud of your body. Yeah, okay. Could we talk over there? Conan's kind of understands what this guy's up to here, and he can use this. Oh yeah, you want the priest robe? You'll get a front row seat. Of course, not knowing the customs and people not recognizing them could be problematic trying to fit in at a more elevated level. Wow, that is a lot of extras right there. Everyone coordinated. You have to loop around the sides here. No straight walk up the hill. Does it do you that much good to have this many followers? You need a lot of mouths to feed now, don't you? I mean, they're not voting for you. There's no democracy system here. Yeah, Sven Thorson must not be 6'7". I'd heard he was 6'7". And I thought that didn't seem quite right. I'm going to look it up now. Thenels Thorson. Of course, these IMDb heights, they change over time. 6'3.5", that sounds a little more likely. Of course, now he's probably, knocking on 80. That'll bring your height down. I'm going to need that back. No, you go up there. Okay. I mean, if it gets me through, gets me up the line, sure. Here's the princess. I wonder what she's been up to. I can't recall if I've ever seen her in anything else. Been a long time since we checked in with Thulsa Doom. How's he looking? Pretty much the same. Maybe he is 1,000 years old. Now I am in no way remotely familiar with the Conan the Barbarian character of comic books, novels, or such. Oh, this actress, she died in 1989. She didn't make it through the decade. The gal that plays the princess. What exactly gave away Arnold here? Was it turning in the jade? The stolen jade serpent? Was that a giveaway? Couldn't pay me to hold the snakes like that, lady. Conan very much gets the Jesus treatment here. You can, they really do a number on him over here. And then, of course, he's crucified. Well, on a tree. We know you're the one who stole it. So you shouldn't have gave that guy the jade. Oh, no, she's the main squeeze. It's not a mere knight. Well, you said murder my pets, my servants, my pets, and my snake. Was the snake not one of your pets? Yeah, killing that snake really sent him over the edge, right? Not bad acting from Arnold right here. Well, I've done it so much, but it's been a while. It must have been when I was a little younger. I was just looking for steel, as one does. Thulsa Doom's cracking of the riddle of steel doesn't quite mesh. Flesh is stronger? How is that so? Because this girl can fall through the wood. This is quite a jump right here. And you see the impact and everything, but I mean, we're assuming there must have been crash pads down below or something, right? Like you can knock a lot of that out with cardboard boxes. But that's a good, I mean, you don't do that effect these days, you know? You don't get somebody to make that jump. How you could hit that all day long with a sword, you wouldn't be able to break that. Flesh is stronger. Then again, rocks could fall from the same thing and bust that up. I said crucify him, not, you know, nail him to a tree. You have to, don't you have to have a cross for the crucify part? He's kind of chilling. And they're doing it that Leonardo da Vinci anatomically correct style with the nails through the wrist. We got the vultures. And I think this movie started the vulture fake out to raw eat the vulture. I've seen it done elsewhere. Last time I saw it was in Fall. Here we go. We got like a puppet vulture kind of snacking at him. All right, did I draw him in good enough here? At least he didn't go for your eyes. Ah, yeah. Fortunately, I don't think you get, unless you plan to drink the blood from it, there's not much nourishment there without your hands free. There's no one checking in on him. Wouldn't it be feasible that someone could come by and rescue him? I wouldn't rule that out. It's not in the middle of town square where people are going to be able to keep an eye on this. Oh, who is that? Ah, the turns have tabled. Now you gotta rescue me. You owed me, right? He's thinking it's a mirage, illusion, whatever. Dude insists on not having a horse. Till later, then they have a horse. Of course, kind of came by just a little too late. Like, right as he sees him, he slips into a coma. So if you're a wizard and the gods owe you favors, you can get a lot done, huh? I don't have any idea what you call his robe. Is it like coral reef? Like yarn? I mean, what would you call this? Got to write the spell of awaking from a coma. Oh, a cold desert night, man. And we'll have more of those spirit of sorts, like the witch he threw into the flame. They'll come by. I haven't seen Conan the Destroyer in a while, but I don't think it did as much with the special effects. Well, I guess the spell's working and the sky turned red. There we go, the spirits. Looks like a similar effect to Poltergeist in places. And the wizard is the one really wimping out here. Oh, it didn't work. It's weird. It's like we're doing the spell to seemingly bring him back to life, but were they trying to take his body? We're holding him down. It's not clear. Like what those entities were present because of the spell the wizard did, right? Or are they just coming for everybody? Like like in Patrick Swayze's Ghost. All right, so he's perfectly fine now, I guess. Okay, cool. It's time for our GIF, swap that sword for glow sticks. Conan the Rave boss. Though, maybe I need to look at this again. Is he now wearing like these bracers over his wrist because of the nails, or did he previously have those? I mean, he seems to have bounced back pretty quickly. Well, a gorge means there's a bridge. Yeah, Conan seems to disagree. He wants to get Thulsa Doom now. Oh, he's not even going to say, just from the sharpening of my blade, you can tell I'd rather kill the guy now. Yeah, whether or not you think Mako has been of any use yet, he will have some use. It's kind of tough to remember characters' names in this movie because there aren't intricate moments of plotting and backstabbing, twists. Conan doesn't even ask people their name if he doesn't have to. I'm not sure if this is camouflage or war paint we're applying. Perhaps among the rocks it could do some camouflage. Another quality song in the soundtrack here. I think this is called like The Feast and the Orgy or something like that in the soundtrack listing. And then once we get to the next room, you got to wonder how this ever got on like basic cable. Clearly, even these parts like cut up people being served. Yeah, I'm assuming we got a human broth here. Big sets, big room here. And they're getting it on. I guess you got to wind down after your human stew. I have to consider that shot for the YouTube thumbnail of the three people looking over the ledge. There's the princess in the back. That stew is being positioned in quite the precarious manner. I wonder if anything will come of that. This human bone broth, please. Non-communicative here. As if extras talk, they get paid more money. Here we go with the transformation. First, the eyes. Oh, the elongated jaw coming forward there. It's not a great transformation. Ah, he's full snake. And, I mean, that appears to be an actual anaconda. Taking their sweet time to get to these people, aren't they? Got a lot of solid snake snooping around to do. Music's kicking in now, yep. Ooh, spilling blood in the abdomen there, nice. And then the shoulder. All right, girl, you're coming with me. You know, maybe the snake going through the hole right there, maybe that's why it's called the snake hole in Parks and Rec. Remember that bar? Here we go, the Conan theme kicking in. Princess does not want to leave. How old is Conan supposed to be here? Because, I mean, everybody else looks, you know, about still around prime also, right? Would not advise, I don't care how strong you are, the hammer is not a good tool. Well, okay, hammer's a good tool. It's just not a good weapon. And that Rexnor guy with the black leather there, he looks more biker than fantasy outfit, you know? Valeria here is fighting off some more goons so everybody can get their getaway on. Oh, she has the eye of the serpent on her. You see that flicker? Not a bad move. I mean, she's got some skills. Kind of a cool move here. Turning your snake into an arrow. Does this make it like a homing arrow? Because, I mean, he does hit this shot, but did it matter if it was a snake? Boom, right in the side. All right, let's have a look at you. We're not going to get you back to Mako's place just yet. She did say to the wizard she'd pay the gods to revive you. Pulls it out, and it's a snake. Now, how do you do that? How do you get the snake to be straight and then not? You know, once you pull it out of the way. That's cool. Let me breathe my last breath into your mouth. You could be cold because you're under duress for the situation. And then she is, for her funeral here, very Viking-like. And she even reaches out like a force ghost almost. Viking-inspired. Did Conan say that the plan was to set her on fire? Yeah, I mean, see, Viking-like, but it's weird. Like from some angles, it's a desert, but then at other points, you see like the sun was setting with the water and waves going by. So like there's an ocean there too. We could do the, funeral pyre at sea sort of thing, but we're not. Well, he could be crying because it's his friend also. I mean, they could have been pals. Though I'm not sure for how long they've known each other. I mean, they could have spent more time hanging out than Conan and her, really. Because they must have been working together to find Conan and finding him crucified on the tree, all that stuff, right? All right, now I have the eye of the serpent. And it's weird to think that we still have the princess here. She's used as bait to bring out Doom's boys over here. We're going to need some sharp sticks. I'm making some assumptions here that these guys know how to find Conan. And the wizard looking, yeah, he's a little bit of a chicken. He's kind of there for some comedic relief in ways. Wearing as much armor as he can get on. Oh, incoming horsies. And it's strange to think Conan doesn't really have a consistent look throughout the movie. Quite a bit of time goes by and he has something else to wear every occasion. All right, we'll see if our traps work. More of this intensely operatic theme. Of course, Thulsa can't be bothered to go do this himself. Somewhat a quotable line here. All that matters is two stood against me. Hey, Mako's a third. He does a little something. Grant me revenge. Yeah, pray to God by saying the hell with him. Might take notice. Smack. There's some brutal blood here. Chopping guys down. I feel like modernized, this would be weirdly comedic. Blood is way too often now played for laughs. To the point that now when people see it, they laugh. Regardless of the situation. Good toss. Come on, man. You're an archer, man. Get out your bow and arrow. All right, now that the cannon fodder has gone through. There we go. We got the bow and arrow now. Good shot. Feel bad for the horsey. They're seemingly coming after the bait to kill her. To why, I'm not sure. And if you don't need her anymore, then just let her go. Be like, forget it. I don't fully understand. Usually the bait would be something to be rescued. Man, the horse had to have felt that, let me tell you. And what are we implying there? They chopped a leg off the horse? Stabbed in the back of the leg, that hurts. But hey, the wizard helped. Three stood against many. Come on. Yeah, okay, so he's turtling over there, falling on his back. But he will later go on to voice Shredder in the 2007, was it? TMNT? Did I say Shredder? I meant Splinter. So acting as a turtle there, but... Bonk. It's like one of those Gopher Hammer games, right? Oh, he got you good. I don't think you're walking away from this, Sthinels Thorson. And this guy's considerably taller than Arnold. Here we go. Valeria here. Force Ghost. Interacting with the fight before Luke Skywalker does it. And I think that is how she was dressed up at her funeral. If I recall correctly, they changed that and make her more of a heightened up Valkyrie look for a brief sequence in Conan the Destroyer, which I think recently left Netflix, I think at the end of July. I wasn't planning to do a commentary of it anyhow. That was Dad's sword, wasn't it? That he just broke? It's got the skull thing going there. I think it was. Doom's like, I don't do a lot of the dirty work, but yeah, I can sit over here and, you know, draw one of these snake arrows. I can do that. Catch. Nice. Ah, chicken running away, right? Yeah, I believe that's Conan's dad's sword. It kind of didn't betray you. He said, this you can trust, and it broke instead of you getting killed. A little weirdly anticlimactic this gets, where we just had the big showdown, but then back to the Mountain of Power, right? So that we can then off Thulsa Doom. Kind of seems like this it would have been more conveniently wrapped up in one battle. Instead, got to sneak back in and, you know, get him on the stairs. How'd you like to be a guard taken out on that day? Just, you know, just give me 5 more minutes of life and I wouldn't even have to work for this guy anymore. guy's talking a big game, but I don't see how he has much power. It could be actually more fitting if the people of his cult uprose against him, right? He runs off. Conan's like, "No, I know the truth, whatever, blah blah," and then these people kill him. That could be a certain satisfaction of that. Oh, don't you my child me. And in a way, he has a point. You're so strong because of what I put you through. He's psyching out Conan. Conan's like, he has a point. I wouldn't become this ultra jacked barbarian. Ah, the hell with it. I'm gonna hack you with Dad's sword. It's what he would have wanted. I mean, it was the one you used to behead my mom, so must return the favor. Broken or not. Shut it down. Let's go home. I wonder if they had to redo the take for that head toss down the stairs. It didn't roll enough for us. All right, I'm finally done with this sword. It accomplished its purpose. No big speech. Just, well, yeah, I guess that's over. You guys, hey, I heard there's a party down the block. And they just kind of depart. Yeah, everybody leaves. Party's over. It sounds like another variation on the theme, but now with this choir-like harmonics, right? Well, what do? I accomplished what I wanted. I mean, is it my mountain now? I dethroned the guy who owned it. Everybody else split. Now, What is there an Olympic sport? It's not the shot put. It's not a javelin, but there is a hammer toss, right? It's something like that. And he assumed that was going to hit something that would be highly flammable. And there we go. A little bit of flame. We could have gotten to burning this down sooner. Hell, the cult could have rose up and burned the place down with Thulsa inside, right? And here we go, the Conan with the beard. And I think we have to read that. No narrator. Return the wayward's daughter of King Ossory to her home, having no further concern. He and his companions sought adventure in the West. Many wars and feuds did Conan fight. Honor and fear were heaped upon his name. In time, he became a king by his own hand. But that is another story, and we've yet to get that story. And thus concludes our time with Conan the Barbarian. What do you guys think of this one? Do you think, it could be underrated. It's kind of hard to say. Maybe it's not brought up as much as it used to be. Or are you like me and you kind of just prefer the Beastmaster? Let me know in the comments below. Till next time, adios.